Hello once again. Usually when I'm out, or go for a walk, or I'm out and about, going somewhere, when I do these talk on the cameras, sometimes when I go out, certain things I see inspire me to talk on the camera. Like I did one the other day when I saw someone working on the car, an old car, and I thought, gives me an idea to talk about old cars. But somewhere I saw someone walking along. I thought he was talking to himself. Thought, hang on, it's a bit odd talking to himself. We've seen people in the past talking to themselves, usually a bit mad, especially on buses. When the drunks get on and start talking to yourself, or they come up to you and go, yeah, fuck off. Yeah, I thought he was talking to himself. Then you notice closely he's got headphones on, or hands-free kit or whatever. And you think, alright, you ain't as mad as I thought. But how do you talk on the phone these days? Obviously a smartphone. I mean, I'm pretty old. If I get a phone call or make a phone call, I'm just usually like that. You know, I can't be bothered to wire up a hands-free kit or take it with me. I'll probably sooner or later, I'll probably be the odd one out. I'll probably be the one mad and holding a phone to my ear like that, while everyone else is using hands-free kits. Talk on the move. But it's rarely that I talk on the phone unless I'm making a call or receiving a call, and it's usually pretty brief anyway. Just like if I'm talking to my mate, do you want to meet up somewhere, or I just usually text anyway before that. So really, I don't really speak on the phone as much as I used to. Especially back in the 80s, where, well, I never even had a mobile phone until the late 90s. Anyway, it all started with the revolution idea that, I don't know if he invented the phone, Alexander Graham Bell, in the late 1800s. I think, yeah, the late 1800s. So this revolutionised communication as we know it. If it weren't for his invention, we wouldn't have these. Yeah, so it all started off with the old telephone. But once you had to be rich to own one, of course. Otherwise, you had to stick with letters. Yeah. And when people say, "I'm going to dial this number," no, you're not. Because phones don't have the old rotary dial anymore, and probably younger generations would never know that. I remember back in the 80s when we had a telephone, we had one in the house, and you could not, if the phone rang, you didn't know who was ringing you until you answered it. There was no caller ID or nothing like that. It was just a telephone, just a receiver. You say hello, and that's it. Say who's ringing. With the old dial, the old rotary dial, 1 to 9. There were the days, weren't it, when you rung someone up with the old dial. Yeah, that's when they say, "I am dialing someone." Not today, because it changed to push buttons, and obviously now it's all touch control. So what are you dialing? You're not dialing anybody. It's just push buttons or something like that. Yeah. Wouldn't it be good if you could get an app? You might be able to. You can get an app with like a rotary dial. You can like mimic dialing. I'll probably get that just for novelty. You know, it'd be good to see that. That old noise that it made. Oh, they were the days. Yeah, so it all started with the invention of the telephone. Obviously, as I said before, you had to be very rich back in the day, like even the early 1900s, I gather. You had to be very rich to own a phone, and also to use your phone you had to know someone else with a phone, otherwise it weren't no good. A bit like fax machines. Then in the 1980s come along, and the invention of the first mobile phone. I think that was 83, was it? Could have been, I can't remember. I know it was Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone. Didn't he have something to do with helicopters after that, or was that another Bell? I don't know, something, I don't know, was it Sikorsky invented the helicopter, weren't it? Anyway, I'm not talking about helicopters. Yeah, it's a bell. Then we had Justin Bieber. Oh no, he's a bell end, didn't he? Yeah, anyway, never mind about that. Yeah, so we had the mobile phone, I think, invented by Motorola in 1983. The old brick phones, yeah, big massive thing with a big massive aerial on it. I've actually seen one of them. Obviously, once again, you had to be a rich person to own a mobile phone when they first came out. By then, everyone had a telephone in their house, so we did the old the old dial phone. Yeah, so yeah, the invention of the mobile for that revolutionised everything even further. You know, they got smaller and smaller, and the signal became digital, and the WAP phone came out. I remember having a WAP phone, the old. Remember the Matrix at the Nokia 7110? That was my first ever WAP phone I owned. That was quite a good phone. That was. Yeah, I had loads of. I've owned many mobile phones. And yeah, in 2007, Apple invented the iPhone. They didn't. I don't know if they invented the smartphone, because I think LG just beat them to it. It was either LG or Apple, and I think LG might have been working at about the same time as Apple. I don't know what the story was there, but you know, every single Apple fan are going to say, "Oh, Apple invented the smartphone." Yeah, well, they revolutionized it. You know, it was probably a better model, better, you know, more sophisticated than the LG model, but they invented the smartphone, I don't know. I mean, you could go back to 1992. I think it was the IBM Simon. That was the first ever mobile smartphone, but obviously it weren't no way as sophisticated as iPhone. Obviously you couldn't watch TV or stream music on it. It was just basically communications only. So you couldn't take photos or nothing like that. But you could probably say Apple or LG invented the smartphone as we know it now. With a camera, you can do everything with it. Listen to music on the go and all that, etc., etc. But I'm not going to take anything with Apple. Perhaps they might have done, but you know, every Apple are going to come to their defence and say, "Oh no, Apple invented it. Apple invented it." Well, these are the fucking wankers that update their smartphone every year because, you know, they don't see Apple what they really are. They're taking the piss out of you. Same with all smartphone companies. Why, you know, they invent something every year. Thinking, oh, it's got this feature, that feature, it's got these additional features. You're not going to fucking use them. What's the fucking point of it? As I said this on another video. If you want to spend your money, that's up to you. But me, no. I'll have this phone for at least a few years until I upgrade. Don't need to upgrade it. I've had it almost, well, I bought it last year, so I'm not going to upgrade it anytime soon. I even had my Galaxy S3 for almost 4 years before I upgraded it to that. So, and I had to, you know, I was having problems with it, but I fixed it. So all I had to do was reset it. Now it works like as good as new. So I didn't really need to buy that. I've said that in another video, so I'm not going to go into that all over again. Yeah, so maybe Apple or maybe LG invented the smartphone. Okay, so that revolutionised mobile telecommunications. You know, you could do everything now. But I think it's come to the stage now. Everyone lives by their mobile phone. I think there's people out there that, you know, that never puts down their mobile phone. You know, it's part of their social life. They're on Facebook on it. They can't get off the fucking thing. Me, I can't stand the fucking thing, to be honest with you. I can't stand smartphones. I'll only use it when I need to use it. Obviously, I like to use the camera facilities and obviously the phone and text and a couple of the apps like WhatsApp. But Facebook, any social media site, or even YouTube, don't even use it. I don't even use it. I don't even like using it. If I'm going to use something like an app or go on the internet, no, I'm not talking about WhatsApp, but if I'm going to use something you can go on the internet with, like Facebook, YouTube, I'd rather use the computer. much rather use a computer. You've got a nice big screen ahead, you've got a nice way of controlling your mouse, you've got a keyboard. This fucking thing, or any smartphone, I just cannot stand using the internet with. Just cannot stand it. Just little screen, doing all this touch, I just hate it. I really hate it. Not just that, any smartphone. I just really hate using a smartphone for the internet. Really hate it. But I think there's a lot of people that love it. You know, it's the best thing that's ever invented. You know, but me, I just can't stand it. But you know, the problem is now. Luckily, I've got friends that feel the same way as me. That, you know, they can't. It's not like they can't stand it. You know, a lot of my mates, we go out, we socialise together. We don't use our phones when we're out to socialise. You know, we have a social, when we meet, we socially meet. We have a drink together. We chat. Like how it used to be. Not, oh, I've got to use my phone. Oh, Facebook. Oh, I've got to go on Facebook. I've got a message. That doesn't work with me. That's why I don't have Facebook on my phone. Well, it's the app's there, but I don't log into it. But you know, everyone's different. The world is changing. You know, this is the way we communicate these days. But you know, nothing's gonna stand in the way of being social, properly sociable with my friends. Nothing. Obviously, if we get a phone call, that's different, you know. But you know, phone calls don't usually last that long. But you know, no, I'd rather be social with my friends and fucking go on Facebook and who the fuck are you talking to? Oh, someone's around the world or something like that. Oh, so it's more important to talk to them to be social. You meet up with your mates, is it? Yeah. Anyway, we're all different. That's the way I feel anyway. But yeah. So, are you one of these people who use a hands-free kit, or are you old school like me? Go, hello, yeah, if you get a phone call before you make a phone call. But yeah, that's what basically just talking about phones. I mean, the technology is fantastic, isn't it? The fact, you know, they're only going to get better and better. But the reason why, I mean, they got the technology to make it fantastic now, but they hold technology back for the next maybe the next 3, you know, when they bring it out. So they're inventing new technology. They say, oh, we hold it back. Yeah, and people are stupid enough to go out and buy them every year. I don't know. Yeah, but this is it now. This is what technology is. It's making us. I think technology, like phone-wise, is making us less sociable these days. You know, proper sociable. I know social media, but I don't call that being social. That's not social at all. Being social is going out with people, meeting people, face to face, not behind a phone. But as I say, there's probably going to be a lot of debate about this. This is what I think. Everyone's going to think differently, especially people that live by their phone. They can't put their phone down. They're probably having sex with their partner and they get a fucking message and still answer it. There's times that I like to have my phone switched off and be left the fuck alone sometimes. Sometimes I do feel like that. I just want to switch my phone off. Sometimes I don't even take my phone everywhere I go. Obviously when I go out, but if I'm in a different part of the room, if I'm watching something, motor racing or something, I don't even take my phone because I don't want to be disturbed. That's the way I am. I don't want, you know, there's certain times I don't want to be in communication with everyone. So I just want to do my own thing. You know, I don't have to be in communication all the time. You know, if someone leaves me a text message, you know, they'll get that text message back. You know, when I come up and see my phone next, you know, I don't need to be beside my phone 24/7. You know, this thing, times I just want to, I don't want to be I just don't want to know, you know. I don't mean it nastily, but I just don't want to be bugged sometimes. So I just leave my phone to one side and go somewhere else. Even when in summer I used to go in the garden, I just used to leave my phone up here. Just want to be left alone. I mean, this is me. We're all different at the end of the day. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this video now. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time, and goodbye.